Okay, welcome back to members of 121 Community Church in Grapevine, Texas, and our ongoing study in Paul and the Faithfulness of God by N.T. Wright. We're looking at part 2, the mindset of the apostle. We've had a very content-filled lesson on the larger creation narrative. We did a double lesson, it was 40 pages instead of 20. So we definitely want to look at a recall triad now and try to encapsulate this great lesson. It was a powerful lesson. We're going to take a look at a recall triad for pages 450 to 490. And in block 1, we see that we've got Paul's implicit and explicit stories of Exodus and creation. Paul's implicit Exodus story has a redemptive, Messiah-shaped form after Damascus. Paul's explicit creation story emphasizes that creation has a purpose, and that purpose has been entrusted to humanity. For Saul, these two stories were tension between the Jewish doctrine of the two ages. Saul was anticipating the coming apocalyptic age. From here, though, we move on to block 2, and we're going to take a look at Paul rewriting the Jewish apocalyptic. Destruction is overpowered by perfection. Those concepts exist within Paul's rewritten signification for the coming age. For Paul, after the Damascus Road, the coming age has been inaugurated in the resurrected Christ. The Jewish two ages are overlapped by the resurrected Christ, and the Messiah's people are already belonging to the age to come. A new reality now exists and determines all life for new creation for Paul. 2 Corinthians 5:17 and Romans 12:2 both testify to this renewal of creation, and Psalm 138:8 tells us that the Lord will perfect the work of his own hands. For Paul, this is the inauguration of the kingdom of God. The kingdom of God has been inaugurated. The Messianic age has begun. After Damascus Road, Paul completely rewrote his significations, all of his signs, for Jewish apocalyptic. Now they take up being nested within the primary sign of the ecclesia, called out ones by Christ. So block 3, we look at the new creation as being put into effect through the concept of judgment, which is a positive concept for Paul. This is where Paul's implicit Exodus story redeems his explicit creation story. Humanity shares in the doxa glory through reigning in life per Romans 5:17, and through the klesis call of Christ, believers are to play a vital role in restoring creation to flourish as new creation. So we do learn through N.T. Wright that Paul very much was living within an expectation of the Jewish apocalyptic. He was tensioned in that tension between the current evil age, the age of Roman oppression, of being elongated exile within your own country. Within the holy city, they were still under oppression. But for Paul, he rewrote the Exodus story after being confronted by the resurrected Christ as a new exodus of the Messiah's people, liberated from captivity of sin. But in this lesson we learn that that is enclosed within a larger narrative of God and his creation. And Paul was familiar with the Psalms, and he would know that the Psalms testified to the fact that God will perfect his creation. And after Damascus Road, Paul launched the concept of Basileia to Theou. Basileia to Theou, kingdom of God. And the kingdom of God is a kingdom of new creation. Basileia to Theou is a kingdom of new creation for Paul. And judgment is putting things right in the right divine order as God intended. judgment is positive because it is a restoration, reconciliation, redemption of creation as new creation. Beautiful lesson, great teaching. It helps us to really understand how Paul did rewrite all of his signs of God's kingdom after Damascus Road, and how he reshaped Jewish apocalyptic into the Christian Basileia to Theou, Kingdom of God. That'll wrap up our recall triad for pages 450 to 490.